All right, looks like most people are in. So good evening, everyone. We are pleased to have you this evening for a conversation and overview of the Leadership Institute. My name is Dan Murphy. I work with our marketing and enrollment team, and I will be guiding you through tonight's presentation. And we're excited to talk a little bit more about this program. So a brief agenda for this evening of what you can anticipate. So I'll provide a very brief overview of Brown Pre-College as a whole. And then we're going to really dive into the Leadership Institute specifically. So I just want to reiterate that this session is specifically about the Leadership Institute. If you're looking for more information about Brown Pre-College as a whole and all of our programs, we do have recordings of those two webinars on our website and on our YouTube. We'll then talk a little bit about how to apply. I'll introduce our guest speaker today who will be speaking about the Leadership Institute, and then we'll conclude with a question and answer. Tonight's session should take about 30 minutes or so, and it is going to be recorded. So if you want to come back and watch it, or you know someone who couldn't make it this evening, it will be on our website and on YouTube within the next week. So keep an eye out for that. We also do have closed captioning available this evening. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll see the little CC button. If you click that, it'll provide closed captioning while we're presenting. Some housekeeping items. So as the presentation is going on, if any questions come to you, feel free to submit them using the Q&A chat feature at the bottom of your screen. The only people who can see your question are going to be the panelists, and one of our program advisors is actually here with us this evening and will help answer lots of those questions as we're going along. And then we will answer as many as we can at the end of the session as well. And then I always like to remind people, everything we're going over tonight is available on our website at precollege.brown.edu. So if you missed something or you want to learn more, definitely head to the website. It has the most up-to-date information, FAQs, and more. So a brief overview of the Brown Pre-College program as a whole. So each year we welcome more than 6,000 high school students from over 70 countries. That's including from across the United States who choose to spend part of their summer with us, whether that's here in Providence, at locations around the world, or online. These students choose to explore over 300 courses that are intentionally crafted to emulate the undergraduate open curriculum here at Brown. The structure of our pre-college program reflects the freedoms and the responsibilities that we believe are critically important parts of the college experience. And so as a result, you'll balance the challenge of college-level academics with enriching social activities and educational workshops that are available whether you choose to study on campus or online with us. So regardless of which program you are interested in, the first step in your pre-college experience with us is completing our application. So our application is designed to mirror the common application, which is used by many colleges and universities. So our application process will actually help prepare you for the college application process, including adding transcripts and thinking through and crafting an essay based on a unique writing prompt. Our summer application, our summer 2024 application is now open, and the deadline for submitting an application is Friday, May 10th. We always encourage people, if you are genuinely interested, always apply sooner rather than later. You can find your application checklist by clicking on the apply button at the top of our website. That's where you'll find your essay prompt, your grade requirements, and anything else that you need to provide us with for a complete application. You'll also see a video tutorial on that page on how to complete the application. So if you kind of want to see a step-by-step walkthrough of what that looks like before doing it, that video is a great resource. So that is just a general overview of our application process timeline. So now we're going to jump into what is the Leadership Institute? What is this specific program? So I'm really pleased to introduce Kisa Takesue, the Director of Pre-College and Leadership Programs this evening. Hi, Kisa.
Hello, Dan. Nice to
Wow.
see you.
Likewise, I'm going to let you take it over.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. As Dan said, my name is Kisa Takesue, and I'm the Director of Pre-College and Leadership Programs. It's really wonderful to be with you tonight, and I appreciate that you've taken time out of your busy schedules to learn more about the Leadership Institute. I've had the pleasure of directing the Leadership Institute for over 10 years, but first became acquainted with this amazing program as one of its instructors. While working at Brown as a dean and director at Student Life, I taught the Women in Leadership course and experienced this unique program firsthand. While teaching, several unique aspects of the program really impressed me, and I'd like to highlight a few of those. One special part of this program is that we really challenge traditional notions and models of leadership and use a framework called the social change model of leadership development. This model is based on the belief that all students can be socially responsible leaders. Another distinctive aspect of this program is that all our course subjects explore real-world topics that serve as a conduit for learning about leadership through the development of the action plan, which we will discuss in a bit more. Finally, one of the most popular aspects of the Leadership Institute is the amazing students who participate in this program. Students who, like you, care about the world around them and are eager to contribute to the causes that matter most. To encourage and allow for widespread participation, the Leadership Institute consists of two program options, a 2-week on-campus program and a 4-week online program for rising sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Both options promote socially responsible leadership, combining an academic course topic, leadership content, and the development of an action plan. In all of our Leadership Institute courses, you will delve into your specific course subject matter and nuanced conversations about the nature of leadership and how it connects to social change. As mentioned, one of the program's main goals is to expand traditional notions of leadership. Leadership is not just about being the boss, speaking the loudest, or being in front of the room. We believe that all students have the ability to make positive differences and that leadership is most importantly a process of growth, reflection, and ultimately being an engaged citizen and community member. In the Leadership Institute, we discuss different leadership styles and the many ways each one of us can contribute to a group or a cause. We also believe that being a socially responsible leader involves cultivating values and skills that will contribute to social change. We offer an array of interesting and thought-provoking courses that cover a wide range of topics. You will select one course to take during the program. Hopefully there's something here for everyone, no matter your academic and career interest. I'm excited that we will continue to offer our most popular courses and a few new ones. One new course that I'm really excited about is called LGBTQ+ Activism and Leadership, and it will explore queer theory, history, and the ongoing struggle for equality and freedom. This is a really important course topic and is rarely covered in high school curriculum and is open to students of all sexual and gender identities. Another popular course is one entitled Intercultural Communication, which explores cultural competency theories and how to practice leadership in a global context. Certainly as the world becomes more and more interdependent, this is a really important skill to have. The action plan is the third component of our program, and it ties together the academic content of your course with our leadership curriculum. The action plan project allows you to identify a cause or issue that is important to you and to develop a plan to carry out when you return home. We work closely with you step by step, offering feedback and encouragement. This is actually a picture of one of our students implementing their action plan after they returned home. When you develop your action plan, we stress the importance of understanding an issue before taking action and whenever possible, working in collaboration with others. The action plan is not meant to be a competition with your classmates or a way to pad your resume. We hope it will matter to you. Start small. Students often develop projects related to their school or local community, such as starting a social justice reading group at their school, working with a local organization on voter rights in their state, certainly an important issue in the next few months, and or perhaps working with a local organization on an awareness campaign about affordable housing initiatives. A common question is how the Leadership Institute is different from other programs. And there are many similarities between Leadership Institute and other pre-college programs, but there are also some important differences related to program goals and logistics. Clearly, the most important difference is that students in the Leadership Institute have committed to learning about socially responsible leadership and increasing their capacity to influence their communities positively. Another curricular difference is that the Leadership Institute courses address current social issues in an interdisciplinary manner, meaning they generally include 2 or more academic disciplines in their understanding of course content. For example, our course on science, technology, and society incorporates content from environmental science, bioethics, and the history and philosophy of science. Important logistical differences for students enrolled in the On-Campus Leadership Institute include that all Leadership Institute students live together in the same residence hall, whereas at Summer at Brown, your classmates may live in different accommodations. Additionally, you're in class and in workshops from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily with an hour lunch break. So the Leadership Institute is a more immersive experience than Summer at Brown in general. Students who select the Online Leadership Institute will experience content that is very similar to the in-person experience. Our online program offers 2 required live workshop sessions twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so students can get to know their classmates and instructors better. Otherwise, students can engage with their classwork at any time of day or night that they like. Students in the online program can expect to spend 15 to 20 hours a week engaging in their online course. And in addition to the twice weekly live sessions, online students will also be able to meet with faculty for one-on-one support and take part in our virtual student life community, which will include interactive webinars and fun social events that are open to all students, including those taking Summer at Brown online courses. So you can meet students from other online courses. It's important to consider if this is the right program for you. Clearly, you have a lot of options available to you, not only at Brown, but throughout the country. The students in this program really care about others in the world around them. Some have significant experience advocating for change in their schools or communities, while many students are seeking ways to get involved. We have student participants from all over the world with very different life experiences, academic and career goals, and it leads to great conversations and a tight-knit community. In addition to gaining a new community of friends and peers who care about social issues, you will gain transferable knowledge and skills that you can bring home to school and later to your college experience. This includes increased familiarity with the leadership model of social change, active listening and public speaking practice, and teamwork activities. Last year, over 90% of our participants said that as a result of their participation, they felt more confident in their ability to make a positive change in their community.
Great. Thank you so much, Kisa, for providing that overview. It is a very popular program, and the students who enroll in it, it has a pretty big impact, I feel like, on them and what they choose to do moving forward. So I appreciate that. So we're going to spend the next 10, 15 minutes or so answering any questions. So as you have questions, again, use the Q&A chat function below. We also received quite a few pre-submitted questions. So we're going to start off with some of those. Kisa, one of our pre-submitted questions was, someone doesn't necessarily think of themselves as an activist or a natural leader. Is this a good program for them?
Yes, I think the most important thing about participating in this program is that you are engaged and care about the world. The leadership piece and the activism piece will come later. We really want students who just care about things and will be open to learning ways to affect change in an impactful way. So please do not think that you have to already know X, Y, and Z, need to have already done all these amazing things around social justice. Really, this program is for you. if you care about these issues and want to deepen your understanding and get to know really amazing people who also care about these issues.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And you never know. There's all different types of leaders, and you never know until you necessarily put yourself into those situations. So thank you. Um, Kisa, a very common pre-submitted question, and I'm seeing it tonight as well coming in live, is are there any prerequisites for joining the Leadership Institute, or have you had to have had leadership training or experiences before?
No, definitely not. Again, we do have students that have really engaged in their school and community and maybe have been told by others that they have good leadership skills or qualities, but not everyone has. Some folks attend the program specifically because they want to explore their leadership capacity. But as I said before, hopefully what makes this program align so well with high school students is that it's not a top-down molding effort to make you a certain kind of leader. It's really about allowing you to explore your own skills, qualities, and abilities to define for yourself what socially responsible leadership looks like, and to increase your sense of pride in the skills that you and knowledge and abilities you already have, that there's a lot that you already possess to have an important impact on your communities. And what you'll hear me say throughout this talk and as well in the program is that we really focus on the process of leadership, the process of engagement, and through those kinds of relationships with others, through that kind of work, that's where leadership evolves. So leadership is really more a byproduct of the engagement rather than the driving force behind everything. It's not about being in charge. It's about making a difference.
Great, thank you. I can take these next few questions. So we're getting a lot of questions about how much does the program cost and about if there's financial aid or scholarship. So first part, if you're interested in seeing costs for the program, as well as dates, if you head to our website at precollege.brown.edu, at the very top of the page, you will see costs and aid. If you click on that, you'll be able to see the cost for each of the programs. That's also where you will be able to find information about our scholarships. So we do provide some scholarships. We have 4 different ones. And so highly recommend looking through those and what are the requirements for those. And at this moment in time, we do not provide scholarships for international students. Let's see. Kisa, could you talk a little bit more about like who are Leadership Institute students? Like what are their interests, age, class size, and like what are the logistics of the institute? Do they all take the same class? Do they like walking through that?
Yeah, sure. So we have, for online, we have one session and you'll have a choice of 5 different courses. You'll take the one course throughout the whole 4 weeks. In person, we have 2 different sessions. Each session is 2 weeks long. Each of the sessions has 7 different course offerings. Again, you'll pick one course and take that throughout the duration of the 2 weeks of the in-person programs. In terms of the demographics or population of students, students are from all over the world. We have rising sophomores, juniors, and seniors. I think that, when you think about interest in concentric circles, we'll have the students that are going to be really watching all the Olympics and want to see, all of that, or students that really love, reality TV, or students that really like playing ultimate frisbee. But then what kind of is the common concentric circle where it overlaps is, again, having care and concern for the world. So you're going to find, commonalities with everyone because you share the interest to come to the Leadership Institute, but then there's going to be a wide variety of interest, everything you can imagine that kind of represents the range of teenage interests. I'm sure there'll be some people that are interested in Taylor and Travis and others who could care less. So that probably is a good sum of the spectrum and continuum of who will be in this program.
Great. Um, so there's some question, I can take this one. Some questions basically asking very similar things about what is the application process and when and how do they choose that course that they're interested in. So which I think is great, an important question. So pre-college, Brown pre-college programs is kind of the umbrella. And then underneath that, you have the different programs, which Leadership Institute falls under. So when you apply to Brown pre-college programs, you're applying to the Brown pre-college programs as a whole. So you would submit your application, and once you've submitted a complete application, it's about within 15 business days that you will receive a decision. And then if you are admitted to the program, that's when you would be able to go in and enroll in a course. So if you're interested in, excuse me, in the Leadership Institute, and there's a specific course in the Leadership Institute you're interested in, you would be able to go in to your student portal after being admitted. And if there's spots still available in that course, you can select to enroll in that course. Let's see, what else? Um, Kisa, will there be activities outside of the class? Like, are there workshops? Are there anything like that for Leadership Institute students?
Right. So I didn't go over, you'd asked logistically about some information, and I failed to mention that the day, as I said earlier, is from 9 to 11:30 is the morning session, and then an hour for lunch, and then the afternoon session is from 12:30 to 3. And during that time, there will be a range of activities that include both your academic content, so your course specific. I had mentioned the LGBTQ plus course. So for some of the day, you'll be engaging in academic content that's unique to that course, that only people in that course will be learning about. But then every single class will share and engage in common leadership curriculum. So that will be the through line through all of the courses, as well as developing an action plan project. So again, there'll be some unique aspects based on your course selection, and then there'll be some common aspects that everyone will have. The workshops happen through the day. So there'll be morning workshops and afternoon workshops. The leadership curriculum is incorporated into that day schedule, along with the academic content, as I mentioned.
Yeah. Kisa, we got this pre-submitted, but we also are getting it tonight. People are curious to know the information and knowledge that they're learning from the Leadership Institute. Are they able to transfer that knowledge that they gain to friends, family, school, or to other topics? Let's say they're interested in science, technology, engineering, or math. Can they apply what they're learning from the Leadership Institute to those?
Yes. So that's a great question. And I think the number one thing that I would say that the Leadership Institute provides that's going to be transferable is the opportunity for self-reflection. So you're going to have a lot of different activities, exercises, discussions that really help you clarify who you are, what influences your own leadership style, what do you care about, what matters to you. So clearly anything about self-reflection and having a better sense of who you are and your values is essential and will guide you throughout your lifetime. In a more tangible kind of takeaways, we practice active listening, public speaking. We do workshops on situational leadership or identifying sort of your natural leadership tendencies while identifying things you can work on to be a more full situational leader, which we talk about what that is, being able to work in groups that have different needs and assess the needs of a group. So that's kind of what situational leadership is. We do exploration about identity, power, and privilege, which is certainly an important piece to be aware of at all times, and how we engage with people is around lived experience, different identities. So that is something that you'll carry throughout. And then again, we're really hoping that this experience is either going to solidify or spark a commitment to community engagement and community betterment. I mean, I think we all know very well by looking at the headlines that there's so many issues going on and locally and globally that require care and engagement. And this leadership program is a great stepping stone in that path of hopefully a lifetime of engagement and care and being a force of good versus evil, so to speak, in making the world a more equitable and joyous place.
Nice, nice. Um, Kisa, could you just reiterate, like for online courses, um, is it all solo work? Are there Zoom classes? Could you just talk about that again just a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So the online course, obviously it's going to be different if you're online and not living residentially, but we do try and create as much of a sense of community as we can through those two required 1 hour weekly live Zoom sessions. So in those sessions, everyone in the course will have an opportunity to, like Dan and I, face to face, engage with one another. So that is a way that we try and help build community. And within those 1 hour workshops, 1 hour time sessions, we also have the workshops that the active listening, public speaking, this that you'll have in the in-person experience. And then we set up a lot of discussions on the online. So there's engagement with the student, with your peers through discussion boards, and you have the opportunity to meet one-on-one with your instructor to get to know them better, to talk about your action plan or other issues that you're interested in or want advice around. And it's different than the in-person experience, but certainly as impactful. And the benefit, of course, is that it allows you to stay wherever you are, to not to have the necessity to come to Providence, and also to be able to engage in other activities during that 4 week time, where obviously if you come to campus those 2 weeks, you have to just be doing leadership, where if you do an online program, if you have a job, if you have family obligations, if you are an athlete and have practice expectations, for example, you can still engage in the course and not give up those commitments.
Thank you. Could you talk a little bit about class size, like general
Sure.
to expect for class?
Yeah. Our capacity for the class is 25 students. Generally, they are, close to capacity. So you can expect about that size. And we find that that size works really well because it's small enough that everyone knows each other and you can have a voice in the class, but it's also large enough to really make sure there are multiple perspectives, a lot of different lived experience, and, a way to create a lively and varied community within the classroom.
Yeah, yeah. And to clarify, that's 25 per course,
Per
correct?
course,
That's the whole
yes, per
program. Yeah,
course.
yeah, per
Yes,
course.
per course.
We're getting a few questions, Kisa, and we always get this, and I think it speaks to the interest and quality of the courses provided for Leadership Institute. Can someone take more than one leadership course in a summer if they wanted to?
Yeah. So, I would ask that if you're interested in doing that, that you reach out to me to have a conversation, because there are pros and cons to it. One of the benefits is you get to take another course that is really interesting, and a lot of what we learn, you'll be doing again. So for some people, they like that because it is another way of sort of solidifying their understanding. But for some people, it might feel repetitive and redundant to do, for example, two active listening workshops within the same time frame of the summer, for example, or to have experience, because you would still need to experience and engage with all the standard curriculum. So again, it depends on the person, and that's why I want to speak to them about that and see, how that would play out for that individual based on their own preferences and learning style.
Great, thank you. Um, what was the other question? I just missed it. I forget where it is, but essentially the question, and I can answer this one, and you can hop in, Kisa, if you want to add anything else. Basically, are all the other Summer at Brown extracurricular activities, weekend trips, fun things like that available to Leadership Institute students? And I believe the answer is yes, but they have
Yes,
and
yes.
all of those if they would like to.
You leadership students, as long as it doesn't conflict with their course time, are encouraged and welcome to participate in all the co-curricular activities that the other summer at Brown students are engaging in. The one thing I have noticed is that the often the course community becomes very tight and the program community becomes very tight, and that often they'll want to do things still with each other as opposed to doing things with other students because they're just like want to spend more time together. So there's nothing that prevents one from going to the other co-curricular. It's just sometimes the motivation to engage outside of the cocoon of the Leadership Institute isn't always there, but you certainly can do that.
Yeah, and there's plenty going on on campus
Yes,
this summer,
yes.
both the
And in
Leadership
fact,
Institute and others.
and
Yeah,
in
so
fact, I'd say for the Leadership Institute, because it's a more intensive time period, is that their time management for all of our pre-college programs is a really important skill that you'll be practicing, and one that when I work with undergraduates is across the board, the biggest struggle is around time management. And within Brown Pre-College and specifically with the Leadership Institute, there's going to be a lot of challenge and growth around time management, and students will come away having a much better sense of what it's going to be like to have to manage their time in college. And there's the tension between doing well academically, keeping up with your academic work, socializing with these amazing, cool people, and then, doing all the self-care and, making sure you're eating and sleeping and doing your laundry and all that stuff. And it can be a challenge, but it's an important one for students to really experience before they go to college.
great. Yeah. Um, all right.
There's one thing that
Yeah,
I know sometimes I get questions about is who the instructors are.
yes,
So what's really exciting is I just kind of looked over the list of instructors, and all but of 17 instructors, everyone is returning except for one person is new. So we have really high retention for instructors. The folks that teach with us love working with the Leadership Institute, love the students, and are really committed to what we're trying to achieve. And I think those retention numbers really speak to that. We have a wide range of instructors in the sense that some are faculty, some are grad students, and then we have folks that are affiliated with community organizations that are not currently affiliated with Brown, but have some connection through Brown. But their common thread between them all is a love of teaching, high quality teaching, and just a real love of this program and the students. Really awesome, awesome teachers. It's very common for me to hear from students that the instructor they had was the best teacher they've ever had. So that's really nice to hear.
yeah. I feel like as a whole, the Leadership Institute, the students who come, the faculty, the staff, instructors, everyone is just very passionate. Um, it's a very cohesive, almost like a cohort group of people.
Yeah.
Summers.
Yeah. And I think living together as well kind of
Uh,
enhances that sense of kind of for those of you that have started looking at colleges, there's a term called living learning communities, where at many colleges, there'll be residential halls where the students take or engage in a similar topic, either a
yeah,
course or a subject area or a kind of like students who are all interested in issues of sustainability might live together, or students that are all interested in international affairs might live together. So it kind of simulates that kind of experience.
yeah, it does. So I just want to be mindful of time. So we're gonna move forward. We know we didn't get to every question. Look, looks like we got over 100 questions this evening, and we had probably that amount in pre-submitted questions. And so I'll share with you how to reach out to us. And I did notice that a common question coming up. Where a lot of people who are very interested in specific courses and navigating that with their own specific interests. If we didn't get to any of those questions, definitely reach out to us, and one of our program advisors can kind of help walk you through that specific course and your interest as well. So
It's a hard choice. There are many really, really cool courses. So I think you can't go wrong with any of them.
yeah. So if you're interested in any other programs or courses that we provide, we do have some upcoming webinars or info sessions. Next week, we'll be discussing our STEM courses and our course-based research experiences. The week after that, we'll be doing STEM for rising 9th and 10th graders. And then our final one on February 29th is going to just be talking about summer at Brown and what the student life experience is like. And so again, we weren't able to get to all of the questions. So if you do have a question that wasn't answered, or after this webinar, you're like, wow, this new question came up, reach out to us. And there's two ways you can do it. You can give us a call during business hours, and you'll reach an actual person who can kind of walk you through what your question is. Or you can email us at precollege@brown.edu. I always hype up our program advisors. We have a very dedicated team of program advisors who their job is to help you. And so they are the ones who are going to respond to you. They are the encyclopedias, I feel like, of our department. They can really walk you through specific situations, any question that you have. So definitely email us or give us a call. And then we always like to remind people, follow us on social media. If you don't, we try to showcase a lot of the student experience through student created videos, photos on our social media. So that way you can kind of see through a student's eyes and lens what it's like to be here. So follow us if you don't. So again, thank you to everyone who joined us this evening, taking some time out of your busy schedules to be with us and learn more about the Leadership Institute. Kisa, thank you so much for joining us and talking about your program. And
Thank you. And thank you to everyone. Again, I know things are very hectic and busy in people's lives. And I just wanted to say to the students, please don't feel overwhelmed by all of this. You might feel like this is, the burden of choice and opportunity. There aren't wrong decisions. And you probably are checking out other programs as well. And there are going to be benefits in whatever you do. You'll learn a lot. And just try and think about what's going to be best for you. If this is something that is workable and doable for your family and for parents. I think that I had a high school student at one point, and it was really helpful for me to also be able to take baby steps into the college experience. And
yeah.
so for parents, if this is something that's a doable thing for you, I think you'll find it helpful to have a sense of separation and faith and trust in their ability to manage this exciting experience. So again, thank you all for your participation, and Dan and everyone behind the scenes. Thank you all for helping with this.
Yeah, so thank you again. Again, reach out to us if you have any questions. We're always here to answer, and maybe we'll see some of you next week for our STEM presentation. So enjoy your evenings. Thank you for joining.